Alright guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to make these vinyl wrapped and embossed tile drink coasters. Basically all I had done is cut out a decal on the Silhouette Cameo 3, applied a decal, and then wrap the tile over the decal using automotive vinyl. Easy process, which I'll show you how to do in the video. Alright, so what I've done here is applied a monogram, just vinyl cut on the Silhouette, and applied it to this 4-inch plain white gloss tile. Get them at Lowe's, Menards, Home Depot, whatever. They're pretty cheap. Cleaned it off first and then applied the vinyl just using transfer tape method. Now what I'm going to do is put this color, this purple that has a lot of gold flake in it. You might be able to see that in the camera. It's by a company called Vvivid. This is actually automotive vinyl, and the reason why I'm doing that is because for the embossing, I want the air egress property for it. This does have a protective plastic cap on it to protect the glossiness of it. So I'm going to leave that on for now, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and peel the vinyl off. And I pre-cut the size so it's a little bit bigger than the tile. Gave myself a little bit extra around each side there. So go ahead and peel this off. And I'm going to do this to help me center it a little bit better. Put it this way. Alright, that kind of just gets it all centered on there. Alright, so now I just start to kind of rub it down. I'm going to get a microfiber cloth to help push this down here. Just kind of make sure that it's on nicely. You can already see some of the embossing effect there. Alright. So what I'm going to do now is basically I'm going to pull off this plastic cap because I'm going to have to use my heat gun next to heat the vinyl up a little bit so that it's a little bit softer, more pliable, and more importantly, more stretchable. And so what I'm going to do is try to wrap the vinyl around the corners of this tile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it back a little bit, so about there. Take my heat gun, just a standard heat gun, kind of heat the vinyl up just a little bit so it's soft and kind of pliable. You can kind of see that it's got a little bit more gummy now, and I'm going to stretch it over and around the corner here, like that. I'm going to pull these back here. You know, just a little bit while I'm stretching, pull it over. Okay, just like that. Okay, and so now hopefully you can kind of see in the camera here where I've got it stretched over the corner there. I'm just going to use my thumb to kind of make sure the sides are pressed down around the corner, just like that. Okay, press that down, kind of pull this down along the side edge there. Pull this down along the side edge there. Bring that, I'm trying to just kind of get it down and around this corner here. Now what you could do, I'll show it on a different corner here, there's a different method. What you could do is make a cut and then kind of overlap the two folds, which would look just as nice as well, but this keeps it in one piece and there's going to be no seam. Not that the seam will be very noticeable to begin with anyway. This is a little bit more difficult for sure, and so I just wanted to demonstrate this method here first. So all I'm doing is trying to work those wrinkles out. I'm going to heat it up just a little bit, and what's going to happen is you'll see it shrink back a little bit because I did stretch it, and now what I'm trying to do is shrink the vinyl around the corner. So now while it's soft and it's already kind of shrunk mostly on the corner, I'm just going to kind of mold it around, trying to get these wrinkles out here. Like that. So I'm just using my finger to kind of roll the vinyl, if you will, around the edges in the corner there. Just getting it ready for trimming in a little bit here. Okay. Okay. That side looks like it's down. I'm going to kind of get it along the seam here, or the bottom edge there, not the seam. Kind of get this down there, just like that. Minor wrinkle right there, so I'm just going to try to work at that just a little bit. Alright, so you can see I've just basically rolled it around the corner like that. Got a little bit of wrinkling there, so I'm just going to bring it up just a touch and bring that down and over the edge. Alright, I'm going to give it a little more heat again to kind of set it. Make sure everything is the way I want it. Just like that. Alright. Sorry. Just like that. Okay. Basically just working the vinyl down and around the corner so it looks nice and smooth. Alright, so as you can see, that was kind of a difficult process to do, but it creates a nice, smooth, seamless looking corner there. Now what I'm going to show you a different method here, so I'm just going to get the rest of this here. I'm going to bring it down an edge. Just kind of use my thumb to push that there. Get my thumb here. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it over the tip of the tile corner just a little bit, right about there. Okay, just to get it started. And then just below the tip, I'm going to make a cut out at 45 degrees. Okay, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the vinyl down and over, just like that. And you'll see that I have a little bit of overlap in the corner there. Well, hopefully you can see that there. So you'll see a little bit of overlap there, if you will. I can fold that down like that. And so now you have the corners kind of wrapped around there. Alright, just making sure it's pressed down and tight around the corner. And what I'm going to do is, right along the edge here, I'm going to cut that and then slice off this tab. So I know there's a little shadow there. Not hard to see. There we go. Okay, kind of just roll that down. Make sure it's on well. Maybe give it a little bit of heat so that it kind of hugs that corner. Just like that. Alright. Now I'm going to take the other flap here and bring it down. I'm going to roll it over the corner tip there. So you have a slight bit of overlap. Just like that. Okay. And just bringing this side down and around. Just like that. Okay. Bring this down and around as well. Alright, so now you have the corner looking like that. A slight bit of overlap, and what you can do, since I put some overlap that way, there's a little bit of a line right there. You can trim it so it's nice and straight. Right, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, it's a little hard. Right there. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, actually I'm going to go ahead and try to do that now. And when you do this, be very gentle, very light when you're doing it. All you really want to do is score the vinyl. But I'm cutting it so that there is a little bit of overlap between the two. so that there's no seam or gap that shows when I do it. So all I did was score the vinyl. I'm not even sure if I cut all the way through. Doesn't look like I did. And so I'm just going to give that another run over it with the tip of the blade. This is where it's important to have a very, very sharp, fresh blade if possible. I'm just trying to get that tip. Okay, I don't know if you can see that tiny little piece that I cut off there. Alright, and so that's that corner right there. So I'm going to do the same technique for the rest of these, just to kind of speed things up here. Okay, now that I've got all 4 of those corners done, basically, all I'm doing is make sure I got good solid coverage over each of the sides here. I think that's the corner that I just stretched over. Okay, so I'm just making sure I got everything laid down really nicely, very tightly along the edges there. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of heat to help it kind of set. Just like that. Same thing here. And again, the heat is just enough to warm it up and make it just soft. Nothing too crazy. And what I'm doing is make sure I got it good coverage and a good line to set it up for cutting and trimming next. Alright, so the thing, like I just said, cutting and trimming is the next step. So basically I'm going to side of the blade against the bottom edge of this, against the bottom edge of the tile. So I'm going to cut like this. Give myself a tab to start with, and then again, bottom side of the blade against the bottom edge of the tile. To use the bottom edge as my guide. I'm kind of pulling this way a little bit to keep a slight bit of tension on it, so that when I cut, the line, the vinyl pulls away from it, but it also helps create a nice straight cut that's not jagged. Okay, get to the corner there, turn this here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of slice and roll the vinyl, or excuse me, roll the knife around the corner there. Just like that. So kind of pulling. Right. So now, got the edges down and wrapped. If there's any excess, you can trim that off a little bit more if you want to, or just tuck it down. It's towards the bottom and underneath. So, hit it with a little bit of heat again to kind of make sure everything's set. Don't make any air bubbles show up. You can press those out since it has air egress in it. Again, this is a Vvivid Premium Plus automotive vinyl, and so it's repositionable, it's removable, has air egress in it. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just taking my cloth and smoothing everything down, making sure there's good contact on the from the vinyl onto the tile. All right, so the sides are done. What I'm going to do next is basically the embossing process here. And so you can see I've got some of it already basically in and done. And what you're going to do is kind of take your finger with a squeegee. I'm using a cloth so I can get into these little crevices here, crevasses and curves and all the intricate details, because the cloth will kind of give a little bit and kind of go into and fill in those gaps and holes and stuff there. Alright, now I'm going to heat it a little bit here. Okay. And then while it's still warm, I'm going to press it down a little more. And you can see when I did that the lines are getting a bit sharper as I press this down. A couple bubbles showed up as expected, and that's fine. I'll show you. We'll just simply pop those next. Now this is a pretty intricate design, so there's a lot of lines and line areas to worry about here. Alright, so let me get my knife. Some of these bubbles here, all you got to do is, tap it with the tip of a knife or a poker of some sort. Something that just will make a pin, a very, very small hole. I'm just going to tap a couple here. And what you're doing is helping the air egress, because it works up to a certain point, but it's not like having a hole for the air to escape. And I'm just putting a couple little holes at different places to help vent out any trapped air, or help vent it out a little faster, a little better with less effort. And the cool part about automotive vinyl is it's self-healing, so these little holes, these little tiny pinprick holes that I'm putting, will virtually disappear once you heat them and basically rub all the air out. Okay, repeat process again. Kind of smooth this out. I'm going to work on the right side first to kind of make sure I get everything out and down. Couple bubbles here. Poke there, poke there, poke there, and poke there. Work the air towards those little holes I made. Okay. Poke it right on top of the bubble. A touch of air, a touch of heat. Okay. I saw some of that vent out and the bubble went away. But you can see now how sharply defined the monogram is starting to get. This is a bit of a laborious process because this is such an intricate design with some very thin lines, lots of curves, kind of working through all that, little deep little gaps like this, but you kind of got to get into there as well. So this does make it a little difficult and a little bit tedious to do. So I'm basically going to do this, take care of this, doing the exact same process, and then we'll pick right back up showing you the final product. Alright guys, and so basically I finished up the embossing piece to it. All I did again was heat, press, and then kind of I then end up using my squeegee here to kind of trace a little bit on the edges and the lines here. So pretty easy to do. Just when you have an intricate design like this, it can be kind of a little bit laborious because you got to get all inside these little thin lines and around. If you do like a bigger, less intricate design, it's a little bit easier. So for example, I did one of these here, and this is just a, as you can see, unicorn. This is again Also Vvivid automotive film. This is their satin rose gold, so kind of gold but with a little bit of pink metallic color. This one I did the stretch over the corner method to wrap the corners of it. So a little easier to do in this because it's just one big solid design, so less lines that I had to worry about with that one. This one here, I made the vinyl wrap here is actually Oracal, but it's their automotive vinyl series 970A, and this is their color shift aubergine bronze. You can kind of see it turning bronze in the camera right there. It's purple, 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 turns to bronze. And then this one is another Vvivid color here. It's called like a shocking blue. It's a gloss kind of teal, light blue, Tiffany blue, but then it has gold flake in it, so you can kind of see the gold flake as the light hits it there. And then again, this one here is Vvivid automotive wrap here, purple. I think they call it poison purple, gloss purple with gold flake in it too. The gold doesn't quite show up as much in this lighting here, but anyway, so hopefully you found this video to be informative and useful to you, something a little bit different. I've done embossing before, so I was doing some other projects here, so I just wanted to show you using different colors, different types of designs. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Thanks.